Shalom, Shalom, Shalom. Now, it's Brother Travis. And in this video, I want to tell you the reasons why I stopped messing with this Hebrew Israelite community thing. And it's not because I do not know that I am of the tribe of Israel. I do know that I am. I'm quite aware of that. You know, the Bible describes us and describes the situation that we would be in. So I do know that I am a part of the tribe of Israel. But you see, knowing that you are of the tribe of Israel does not mean that I will save you. Because if you know that you are one of them, at the same time, you put on your fringes and all of that and still walk in the works of the flesh. It doesn't make sense. Knowing that you are a Hebrew Israelite, at the same time, you follow the law, you keep your Sabbaths, but at the same time, you have no love. Like I'm talking the love that Corinthians mention about. Then what are you? If you have no love, you are nothing. And so I want to give you some reasons why I stopped messing with this Hebrew Israelite community thing. It's one of the first reasons. One of the first reasons. I did a video on that a couple months ago, probably a year ago. But one of the reasons why is that they separate themselves too much. There's too much separation in Israel, in the Hebrew Israelite community. Because you have one over here saying that, if you don't accept the name Yahusha, then I will not, they cannot be in one place. Then you have some over this side saying that if you don't say Yahushai, then, they cannot be in one place. And then they have some over this side saying if you don't say Yashaya, then they cannot be in one place. This whole separation just turned me off. Honestly, I'm like, what? We already realized that we are the people. And then here we are starting to separate ourselves again. So that's one reason. Our next reason is that I found out that they preach more hatred than love. Most of them, not all of them, but most of them preach more hatred than love. They are so filled with hate and bitterness to the point where even when they have good messages, it comes across with so much hatred. And listen to me, there's nothing wrong in hating what is wrong. There's nothing wrong in hating evil, because the Bible says if you fear God, you must hate evil. But there's just this hatred beaming from them, most of them. Especially when they talk about like slavery and all of that. And what they need to know is that we went off in slavery because of our own disobedience. No one could ever defeat Israel until Israel fall off into disobeying the Almighty. No one could defeat us or conquer us or overtake us unless we were walking in disobedience. I can remember reading, I think, the book of Judith, where it talks about that. Matter of fact, let me see if I can find it and read it. So in the book of Judith here, Judith chapter 5 and verse 70, it says here, as long as they did not sin against their God, they prospered. For the God who hates iniquity is with them. But when they depart from the way he has prescribed for them, they were utterly defeated in many battles and were led away captive to a foreign land. And so you see here that how we got conquered is not so much because of any other nations. We got conquered because of our own disobedience. And so when I see them spit around this hatred for other nations, and they talk as if other nations cannot be saved, but only them alone. The Bible says when Christ is lifted up, he will draw all men unto him. Not only Israel unto him, but all men. And so they have a lot of hatred for other nations, but they're not they're not sticking to the truth that the reason why we went off into all of this captivity is because of us. They won't talk much on that. They will talk on it, but not much on it. They will speak more of the hatred of those who led them captive. God is gonna deal with those who lead us captive. Because the Bible said those who he will put those in captivity who put people in captivity. So God will be the one that will do that, and he will lead that according to his will and his movement. He know what to do, when to do, and how to do it. But this hatred that is going around for every other nation, it is not necessary. All right, so that's number one. So number one is the names, separating because of names. Number two is the hatred for other nations. I'm not putting things in the proper perspective. And next reason why I start messing with these Hebrew Israelites is that they curse the gifts of the Spirit. That's the best way I can put it. They curse the gifts of the Spirit. So, if someone have the gifts of like prophecy, they try to say that is demonic. They will say that it's divination. If someone speak in different tongues, they call it demonic too. Yet in the scripture, the Bible talks about when people speak in tongues, in their gathering or in their church or so forth, that they should not do it in front of unbelievers because the unbelievers will think that they're mad. So it is going to show that there is a tongue, there is a type of tongue that unbelievers will not understand. If they're new to it, they will not understand it. So they should not speak in that type of tongue in front of unbelievers, because unbelievers will hear them and without understanding will think that they're mad. So that goes to show that they're actually a tongue like that, right? But they will reject all of that. They reject all of that and say it is just demonic. So they basically curse the gifts of the Spirit. And you have to be very careful with that too. So they will curse the gifts of the Spirit. And this is the reason why, this is amongst the reason why you hardly, if ever, I'm trying to remember before I even speak, but you hardly or if ever see any Hebrew Israelite casting out demons. They cannot do it. I have casted out demons before, and yet I'm quite aware that I am a Hebrew Israelite, or that I am Israelite, right? But I've casted out demons before, but I hardly if ever see any one of them cast out demons. The only time they say that they're casting out demons is when they're on the roadside just preaching the word and preaching in hatred. And they talk about slaying demons and all that, but they cannot cast out demons. They cannot cast out demons out of people who are demon possessed. Because why? They curse the gift of the Spirit. And once you have the Spirit of God, that's how you can cast out demons, speak in new tongues, and do all these other things. Christ spoke about that too. But the thing is, they curse the gifts of the Spirit, and that's the reason why they cannot perform certain things that requires you having the Spirit. That's another reason why I'm just done with these Hebrew Israelite people. They have this, there's just this dark negative energy about our brothers and sisters who have awoken. And not all of them, but majority of them, there's this dark negative energy. They just go around and portray, they have waken up to certain truth, and now it's like they treat everybody as if they're idiots, and they don't try to wake up the people and say, look, I have learned this and I have learned that. There are times for rebuke, especially when it comes to those who are in leadership and you know that they know better. But for those who are in darkness, why are you gonna rebuke a person that is in darkness? So they learn certain things and then they go around and act as if the entire world is just a big buffoon. We were all big buffoons at one point, and we still don't know everything. We still don't know everything. So these are some of the reasons why I'm done with this Hebrew Israelite people. Not because I'm not aware that I am one of them, but the energy that many of them are portraying is just not right. Just not right. And they're rejecting many things of the Bible. You know, they love the Old Testament more than the New Testament, when this is just one book. It's just one book, including the Apocrypha. It's just one book. And the New Testament is a fulfillment of what has happened in the Old Testament, or what has been spoken of in the Old Testament as well. But they refer more to the Old Testament, and there are many things in the New Testament that they can't understand, and if you should bring it to them, they cannot explain it to you either. Right? So these are some of the reasons why people. These are some of the reasons why. I'm not saying that they're not true people out there, and that they're not genuine hearts out there, and that God's not working with many of them out there. But for the great majority, it's all about the separation. Who's wrong, who's right, who know the right name, who is demonic, who is false. I see people making videos of every of the camps out there, saying all these camps are false. So it's like they're trying to say that these people are false and they are the truth. So now we have people out here now trying to fight for the spot in the Hebrew Israelite community, that they are the true one. They are the true ones in the Hebrew community, and the rest of them are the false one. It's just like what's going on with church people too. Seventh-day Adventists saying that they are true. Pentecostals saying that they're true. First Church saying that they're true. It's just like what's going on in the church, the very same spirit. So that's the reason why I'm done with all of that. I serve Yah in spirit and in truth. I serve him by his word. I follow his commands. Not only just the commandments in the Old Testament, but commands also in the New. That's what I do now. I stop following up all this Hebrew Israelite foolishness, because all they're doing is just fighting against each other, talking about who is false and who is true. I see someone made a video also on New Breed Global Truth about him doing certain things on the Sabbath. And guess what? Whatever you want to say. But at the same time, the very same person that said New Breed Global Truth is doing certain things on the Sabbath. And listen me, I don't defend New Breed Global Truth either. I'm defending just truth in regular. I'm just defending truth in general. In general. And I speak out against hypocrisy. And if you see hypocrisy about me, don't be afraid to tell me either. But I speak out against hypocrisy. That's what I speak out against. So you have this one person saying that this person is breaking the Sabbath and so forth. And then that very same person is making videos of Stephen Darby, saying, "Oh, Stephen Darby is a true man of God," and I do not disagree with that. But Stephen Darby does not do Sabbath. So you're cursing one that is not doing the Sabbath, or saying that one is losing his way because he's not doing the Sabbath. But you're calling somebody else a man of God who does not do Sabbath either. So, which side are you on? Come on, which side are you on? The only time they like to copy men of God is when they're saying what they want to hear. But once they're not saying what they truly want to hear, then they're false. Let me tell you, you can listen to anyone's video or sermon, and find one sentence to say that they are false. Simple as that. You can just find one sentence to say that someone is false. But anyway, this is the reason why I'm finished with all this Hebrew Israelite foolishness. It's all about the serving Yah in spirit and in truth, walking in his ways, in his commands, in his statutes, in his laws. It's all about that. Not about out here trying to point fingers and camps and point fingers on this one and point fingers on that one. You have many people just waiting for people to reach a certain level for them to try and tear them down. You have people out here not finding any fault with anyone until they start getting a whole heap of recognition. So you have a whole heap of envy and jealousy and evil spirit about them too. They will never have any problem with anyone until they start seeing them rising. And so I'm done with all of that. I'm done with all of that. And I can bet you that when and if even this ministry that I am doing here start to grow, you're gonna hear a whole heap of lies about me or a whole heap of things about me as well. So I'm done with it. Done with that. Shalom.